So I'm going to tell the story about how my husband and I ended up in Bayview 11 years ago, actually this June. So I had a happy accident and finding a job with Kohl's. So Kohl's recruited me out of college. Even in the interviews, they had asked me if I had ever been to a Kohl's, to which I strategically replied, no, not recently, which meant no, not never. However, that all ended up working out. They offered me a job, and Milwaukee seemed nice. So my husband and I decided to take a chance and move out to Milwaukee. We took a weekend to look for this apartment to live in, and when we had visited all corners of the city, we had been near the stadium, south side, north side, west side, east side, everywhere. We had even seen an apartment, and the best we could have come up with was if we had opened 2 windows in the same room and a breeze blew just right through them, it felt like air conditioning. So we felt like that wasn't going to work for us, and we kept looking. And we were on, our last day, and we hadn't found any place to live, and I was pretty upset. So I was crying, and we were driving up KK, north up KK, towards the intersection of Lincoln and KK, and my husband jerked over the wheel of the car and said, "You're going to stop crying," and he conveniently pulled over on the side of the road in front of a building which had a phone number and a for rent sign on it. So he's like, "I'm calling that number. You are going to stop crying, and we are going to find a place to live." So we called that number, and luckily, the owner was there renovating this apartment. And it was a mess. It was half finished. There wasn't anything about it that was complete. But when we walked inside, we knew we had found home. So it happened to work out. And then 2 years later, we decided to buy a home. And again, we did the whole search. We searched every corner of Milwaukee again. North side, east side, west side, by the stadium, everywhere you can imagine. And we were on our last house. We were on our last house for the weekend in our budget in the city of Milwaukee. And we ended up coming to this house, and we probably got 5 steps in. And I looked at Bob, and I said to him, "This is it." And he looked at me and said, "Lady," he calls me lady. He's like, "Lady, you have to see the rest of the house before you can kind of commit to this kind of purchase." So we looked through the rest of the house, and it was perfect. It was the place that I honestly felt like I could see the 3 children, Henson, Lorelei, and Harvey, that I hadn't yet had. And I knew they could grow up there. So, 2 years later, we ended up renovating a big portion of our house. And within the 120-year-old floorboards, we ended up finding some newspapers, a packaging label with original address that someone had left for someone to find someday. And we ended up spending a lot of time researching our house and found out that it was once owned by a brewer, and that brewer built his brewery right next to our house. So we went to the library, did all kinds of research, and then we ended up stumbling upon the Bayview Historical Society. So we brought all of our findings to the Bayview Historical Society, and we met a lot of really amazing people, and I think that was the best find of all, as we found this community of people who were definitely passionate about Bayview, Milwaukee, and spent a lot of their adult lives either living in Milwaukee or doing things that bettered Milwaukee overall. They were teachers, they worked for nonprofits, they started parks and the South Shores Farmers Market, all kinds of things that made the place better to live, and that was something that definitely inspired my husband and I. So from then on, Bob and I kind of decided that we were going to do something to give back. And the thing my husband did, he designed the new Milwaukee flag. So, and I think it's been pretty awesome to see how a symbol of community can definitely rally people together, and it's proliferated in so many grassroots ways over the past few years, and I'm so proud of him. So, and then I took it upon myself to start involving myself in public school. So I started a PTA at my son's school, which is a new bilingual school, and I serve on the board there, and both Bob and I continue to be active in the Historical Society today. We're a part of the board, and we couldn't find a better place to call home. So I know Milwaukee is not the perfect place, but I'm eternally optimistic about all the things that Milwaukee has to offer and the places and things that it's going. And I'm incredibly grateful for the home that I have, the family that I have here, and the place that I call home. And I think I'm pretty lucky that I can ride my bike down to South Shore Park any day of the week, and I can really find the best view anywhere in Milwaukee of the entire city. And I sit there and I'm often really, really grateful that I found this place to be my community and my home.